Playing center in the NBA is harder than it's ever been. You have to be able to guard on the perimeter. Most guys that are 7 feet tall don't have that ability. You have to have the ability to shoot the basketball. You have to be able to protect the rim, and you have to be able to switch and defend guards. Like, these men are huge, and they're being asked to do things that most huge men cannot do. I think there's 5 centers in the NBA who can legitimately play in every playoff series. That's it. There's only 5. And we see centers get played out of playoff series all the time. Rudy Gobert is a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year winner. He can't stay on the floor in some of these playoff series because he can't do everything that a center is asked to do in the NBA in this day and age. Brook Lopez got played off the floor against the Pacers this year. He started game 1, played 35 minutes. Game 2, he played 15 minutes. He got played off the floor against the Pacers. Jared Allen, a guy who makes $30 million a year, the same amount of money that Myles Turner is asking for. Jared Allen got played off the floor against the Pacers. Chet Holmgren, former number 2 overall pick, is struggling in this series against the Indiana Pacers. Jalen Duren, former lottery pick of the Detroit Pistons, couldn't stay on the floor against the Knicks. Wendell Carter Jr. was the 4th overall pick the year that he got drafted. Yeah, couldn't stay on the floor against the Boston Celtics. Zach Edey got played off the floor against the Thunder. It is normal for NBA centers to struggle in the playoffs. Most of them can't play in every series throughout the NBA playoffs. There's 5 who can. Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama, Bam Adebayo, Evan Mobley, Karl Anthony Towns. Those are the only centers in the NBA who can play in every series. And guess what? Most of them are not perfect. Nikola Jokic and Karl Anthony Towns, they only play in every series because they are so offensively gifted. But they're not perfect. Teams pick on Nikola Jokic defensively all the time. The Pacers, when they played against the New York Knicks, what did they do when Karl Anthony Towns was on the floor? They went at him every chance they got. Bam Adebayo, he only plays in every series because of his defensive versatility. He's not a very good offensive player. He can't step out and make a 3. It's cool, man. You can hit a 17-foot jumper. That's great. And you're a halfway decent passer. That's all that he is. He's not posting up smaller players. He's not doing anything like that. But he gets paid a lot of money because of his defense. Okay, center in the NBA is like running back in the NFL. You have to do it by committee. There's a finite number of running backs in the NFL that are legitimate 3-down backs that can run between the tackles, have the speed to bust a big one, have the size and strength to run it on the goal line, and have the hands to catch the ball out of the backfield, and also have the ability to pick up the blitz in pass protection. Because of that, NFL teams have multiple running backs. Center in the NBA should be treated the exact same way. There are 2 perfect centers in the NBA that check every box. They can shoot it from the outside. They can roll to the basket. They can play make off the roll to the basket. They can protect the rim. They rebound. They can defend the screen and roll. If they get switched onto a guard, they can hold their own and survive. There's 2. It's Victor Wembanyama, the alien, and Evan Mobley. Those are the only centers in the NBA that can do everything on the list of things that centers are asked to do. And Evan Mobley barely passes inspection on that. Barely passes inspection. There's 1 perfect center in the NBA who can legitimately do all those things well. He's in San Antonio. He's not coming to Indianapolis. Promise. You have to do the center position by committee. With every other team in the NBA, that is what they're doing. And they are basing what they need in their center based off of what they have with their power forward. Okay, you have to pick what you want, and it depends on what your power forward does well. Pascal Siakam is an interior scorer who likes to post up and do those things, who's a good rebound. He was the 7th best rebounding power forward in the NBA this year. Okay, he likes to drive and get to the rim. What he does well, Myles Turner does not do well. And what Myles Turner does well, Pascal Siakam doesn't do well. Myles Turner is fantastic at stepping out onto the perimeter and knocking down threes. He's an excellent screener. Okay, that is not Pascal Siakam's strength. Myles Turner is a good, not great, but he's a good rim protector. Pascal Siakam, pretty average in that department. They complement each other well. The Pacers don't need to get rid of Myles Turner. They need to bring him back, pay him the $30 million a year if you go through his numbers compared to a lot of other centers in the NBA. He's, probably one of the 10 best centers in the league, probably closer to 10 than he is to 1. But when you look at the scoring and the shooting, I get it. He's not a good rebounder, but he protects the rim well. What the Pacers need is a backup center that gives them legitimate options. That is what they need. Thomas Bryant is an undersized center that can kind of make threes. He can't really rebound. He can't protect the rim. He's not a guy who gives you a different look. Tony Bradley is just a big body who can kind of rebound and is a total zero on offense. What the Pacers need, they need to go find a cheap DeAndre Drummond type center. By the way, DeAndre Drummond, only 33 years old. He will be a free agent this offseason. They need to go find a cheap DeAndre Drummond type center who can rebound in case you need that. Myles Turner is going to get his money because there's just not very many good centers in the NBA. So what the Pacers need to do is they need to go find a center who can really rebound. That way you have a different look to throw at teams. Okay, that is what you need. Because right now, Isaiah Jackson, he's going to come back and he gives them a different look. He's 6'9", super athletic. Because he's super athletic, he can defend the rim. He can screen and roll. Not very good playmaking off the roll, but he's like 24. Like, he should hopefully continue to get better. He can play above the rim, right? He gives you this athletic rim running center that you can throw lobs to, and he can block shots. And because he's so athletic, he can kind of play on the perimeter a little bit on the defensive end of the floor. He gives you something that Myles Turner does not. He gives teams a completely different look, and he's a solid rebounder as well. Pacers, they're going to have room for a third center because I'm just going to assume that they're not going to bring Thomas Bryant and Tony Bradley back. So, they have an opening for a third center on their roster. A player like Paul Reed would be a good option for the Pacers. Okay, he is. He has this, really good ability to rebound the basketball. Paul Reed is currently the backup center in Detroit, right? He played good minutes in the playoffs this year. He's very physical. He's a very good rebounder. He's set to be an unrestricted free agent this offseason, and he would give the Pacers a different look. And that's what they need. Okay, center in the NBA has to be done by committee now because of everything that these guys are asked to do. It's very difficult. There's only 2 in the NBA. It's very difficult to find a center who can do everything that is now asked of these 7-foot guys. I don't think it's a major indictment on Myles Turner that he can't, switch on the perimeter. I don't think it's an indictment that he can't post up other bigs because, let's be honest, there's 3 other bigs in the NBA who can legitimately post up. It's Karl Anthony Towns, Nikola Jokic, and Joel Embiid. Those are the only 3 guys who consistently put their back to the basket. Ridger asking about Clint Capella. I don't think he'd be bad. Yeah, he's a little bit older. I think that's kind of the thing that I like about Paul Reed. Paul Reed's 27. Capella's in his early 30s, but he is at a point in his career where he probably needs to be a backup center. And Ridger, you're exactly right. That guy can rebound, and he can set good screens, and he can do all those things. So that wouldn't be a bad option either. But that's really what the Pacers need. The Pacers don't need to get rid of Myles Turner. They need to pay him the money because there's just not very many good centers in the NBA. And they need to bring in another backup who can just give the Pacers a slightly different look. Because that's really what you want. When you look at the best teams in the NBA in the playoffs, The teams that win multiple rounds are the teams who can play in different styles. Like a large part of why the Pacers are at this point is because they can win hard-fought, tough defensive games because they improved on the defensive side of the basketball. They can win games by scoring 70 points in the paint. The Pacers can win games by shooting 45% from three and generating a ton of open looks. Like, they can win in multiple ways, and having different centers, I think, opens up even more options for the Pacers to find different ways to win tough games in, May, June, and July. No, we're still in June. May and June. My bad.